Yes, yes, yes. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, y'all. We are here. We're here. That song was blessing. It was blessing. It was doing something for our spirit. And we got caught up in that moment of trust in the Lord with all your heart. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. Yes, and all your might. And y'all, we're excited here. Y'all, we're here again at the Teddy and Monica show, y'all.
Yes, yes. Happy Monday,
Yes,
everyone.
happy Monday. So much going on, you all. God is doing some big things. He's doing some big things with us, and we're excited to be able to have this type of a platform to even be able to
Yes.
talk and discuss things with a lot of people that's out here just chiming in on this conversation on today. So we are excited. Monica, you got anything you want to say to the people, baby?
Yeah, so we're on the same vein because I was like, Lord, who would ever thought we would have this type of platform but God? It's only by His goodness and His grace that we just thank you all so much for tuning in each and every week.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, today, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be talking about June is Men's Health Month. You all have a month now. The
Yeah.
men have a month. Hooray.
Yeah.
Yes, ladies. They
Wow.
have a month.
We done came off of Father's Day. Now we talking about is it men's mental health or is it
I
men's
just said
health?
June is Men's Health Month.
Okay.
And I know also in June you had like a Men's Health Week. And so what that week was entailed was for awareness of preventable health problems and encourage early detection and treatment of diseases among men and boys. And
Mm.
so that's what the health week was all about. Just making you all aware of how important it is for you all to get out there and get yourselves checked. Because men, I just don't know why you all don't like going to the doctor. And
Mm-mm.
that's the question that's one of my questions to you, Theodore. Well, before I go there, I want to jump into the Men's Health Week. Also, give healthcare providers and public policy makers and the media and individuals an opportunity to encourage men and boys to seek regular medical advice and early treatment for any disease and injuries. And so most of this information I've gotten was from men's healthmonth.org. So back to that question. Why do you don't think men, because you included, I can't leave you out because I make appointments and you always have me to reschedule them. So what is the truth behind men really not wanting to go to the doctor?
Well, I'm gonna start out with me personally. It's an as men and especially as African American man, I can truly say it's when you don't see doctors that look like you and you go to certain places, you feel like you could be actually being used as a guinea pig or as a something that they can go in and put medicine or keep pumping medicine in your body. We we just don't feel safe. I don't feel safe sometimes. I'm gonna be honest with you, and that's my biggest issue because I feel like we shouldn't have to medicate ourselves, overly medicate ourselves. I feel like it's natural remedies, it's natural things that we could do instead of having to go and pump ourselves with medicine, having to pump ourselves with just you know, these shots, even the vaccine. I was leery about the vaccine, taking that
Yeah, we
that
both was there
vaccine,
about that, of course.
and I just feel like we could do it naturally. I feel like we could take care of our bodies, we could take care of ourselves, we could do things that could lead to a healthier you, instead of taking all the medication. But I'm not a doctor, so I'm not claiming that I'm saying what is right. I don't know, on certain things, but I feel like we're used to see if this medication gonna work. Is this one gonna work? How's because I've taken a lot of medications over my lifespan, baby. I've been, from metformin to um all different types of blood thinners to other diabetes medications, Trulicity, to certain things, and I can't say that I can. Are they truly working? Or is it my lifestyle that I'm trying to change? Is that the reason why it's working? Does that make sense? So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Okay, so what about God gives us doctors on this earth, and that's their profession, and so they're there to diagnose us of these different things, and to me, to help prolong our life. That's their occupation. They go to school for it, they study for it. I'm not saying all doctors are just excellent, because you got some that's not, but then you got more of them that really, really care about your overall health. And then I think it starts with us as individuals, because it's our mindset, it's what we put into our bodies each and every day. um, we allow our emotions and whatever we feel. I feel that makes us feel good, that's what we do. So I'm gonna give you an example. Like today, I call myself going to eat better, because we had, real quick, y'all, we had an awesome, amazing weekend. Oh my goodness. My son and his girlfriend came in town, Miss Kaylee, and Derek and Kimber. That's our cousins from Indiana. And when I tell you, y'all, we had a fabulous time. We went out to eat. And so this weekend, I indulged. I done had ice cream two
yeah,
days in a row, cookies. And so
yes,
today, my body was like, okay, okay, what you doing? What you doing? So let me back up a little bit. So yesterday, when I know I didn't eat right, I go to my candy cleanse. And so I drank that last night, and so it worked. So today it was flushing everything out. But when you gotta, when you do wrong, it's like when you drink too much of something, and it's got to come up. All those toxins and all that stuff I ate, I was miserable. So I was like, you know what? I'm back on my fruits and vegetables again today. And so I think that's what we do. We yo-yo with our health. And so I go to the doctor because I want to know what's going on. And so I just feel that, um, me and because I know I have, my two brothers, my dad, it seems like men do not want to go to the doctor. But I was studying, and it says men's health is a family issue.
I
Hold on.
agree.
Yes, and let me tell you what it said. This is a quote from the Congressman Bill Richardson, Congress. Let's see, record 52494. Recognizing and preventing men's health problems is not just a man's issue because of its impact on wives, mothers, daughters, and sisters. Men's health is truly a family issue. And I totally agree with that. Let me tell you why. Because when Theodore had his heart attack back in November, I was like, oh my goodness. I was the, we went through, him on, like he said, he takes a lot of medicines. But my thought is, what if God called him home? You know, then Trinity would have been left without a dad, Trinity and Theo. Cecil would have been left without a brother. So it's more than just men. Us women, we have to just remember. I'm saying you got brothers. I have two. Your dad. If you got a father-in-law, all these men, I feel as women, for me, we have to do better with helping them get to the doctor, reminding them to take their meds, just encourage them to take care of themselves, just like we take care of ourselves. I know we go to our primary care doctor ladies. We go get our mammograms. We go to the gynecologist. But men, you all just, I don't know, it's just lackadaisy about it. But when it says this is a family issue, it really is, because you leave us, I'm gonna say, manless, and you all are the head of the household, and we need for you all to be here, available, leading and guide us in the directions that we should go.
Absolutely, absolutely. Um, I'm gonna say this. I last week's show really did a lot of healing for me, and it what you just said about it's a family thing,
It's a family issue when you
men.
don't take care of yourself
Yeah, it
health
definitely is.
wise.
It definitely is. And like I said, you're not educated properly at home. When you're not educated properly at home, it could translate into your life,
Mm-hmm.
and you can see certain ways of living, certain ways of doing things, certain ways of eating habits, certain
Mm-hmm.
ways of mental thinking. We didn't have regular doctor visits after a certain time in our life. So it was a period of our time to where we didn't go for a yearly exam. We only did it if it was needed. If we had to do it for school, if we had to do it for something, for sports, then that's when we would go to the doctor. We wouldn't just have a regular routine of going to get a checkup. When we were younger, when we was like baby ages, we probably went more then. But like I say, after that, we didn't have a regular regimen for our going to the dentist. We didn't have
Okay.
a regular regimen for going to just check for anything, and yet alone never went and got checked for nothing mental.
Well,
So, yeah,
well, my thing is when you know better, you do better.
right,
And
right,
so
right,
my thing is because since you had your heart attack, I take time to read. I do a lot of researching different foods and what we should and should not eat. And so now, this weekend we had an awesome time, but my thought was we got to get back on track because
absolutely,
you're like I said, you're juggling your body. It's like, what are you putting in me? One minute you want to be healthy, the next minute you want to, be unhealthy. So we gotta do better in that realm. But I want to read something from the 118th Congress Second Session House of Representatives 1325 resolution. It says an average um, American men now live an average of nearly 6 years less than women.
wow, wow,
6 years less than women. American Indian slash Alaska Native African American men have the lowest life expectancy.
wow,
Yeah. Heart disease, cancer, unintentional injuries, diabetes, chronic lower respiratory diseases, chronic liver disease, um, cirrhosis, influenza, pneumonia, Parkinson disease, and all this is according to the Center for Disease Control and Prevention. Um, it just tells us that you don't live as long as we do. At the rate of us as women. I want to pig on this heart disease. No, that's what we're, dealing with you right now. Heart disease is the leading cause of death for men in the United States and globally. Risk factors include blood pressure, cholesterol, obesity, smoking, and a lack of physical activities. And so, what that means is blood pressure. I know we like to eat all that wonderful bacon, especially that right bacon,
right, right.
pork chops, baby back ribs, all these different things that can possibly clog our arteries. Um, High cholesterol and then obesity. That's just, we just glutton just for eating and eating and eating and eating. So when you're eating, you're not really, um, you're eating what you want, then you're not going to the doctor. So you just setting yourself up for failure, in my opinion. Smoking, I'm gonna throw drinking in there because that's part of it, and then the lack of physical activity. So how many men are couch potatoes? I know these last couple months has been a lot of couch potatoes, because including me, because we've been watching these NBA games. So we just snacking, sitting on the couch, watching the game, snacking, watching movies, doing different things, and really not taking the time to exercise. And that's a very, very um, important thing. I know I was reading something at work today. It was saying that a guy, he goes to work out at the YMCA, and I think they say he checked in for 1 year, like 200. I'm gonna say I think it was like 251 times for working out in 1 year. That's
So
awesome.
so he checked in that
Yeah,
many
because I guess
times.
each time you go in, you check yourself
That's
in,
good. That's
and
good.
so by him doing that, his children followed him. Meaning, like his son was like, "Dad, what you doing? Can I go?" So he ended up going. So now he is doing it each and every day. Now the younger son. So it's just a lifestyle change. Lifestyle change. That's why I say, man, we need you around to lead us. Because look at this man as a leader. He's leading his family into exercise, and he said, not only that, I'm eating healthier. So when he's eating healthier, of course, that means the wife got to cook healthy, and then of course the kids. It's a trickle down effect.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely on it. You talked about a lot of diseases. Heart disease. That thing right there, you all. And until you experience a situation to where your heart feels like it's about to explode, you all, or you feel like something is like standing on your chest, until you experience that type of pain. I don't ever wish nothing on no one, but it does wake you up in a fashion to where you really really have to understand that you're never really out of the dark. I always in my mind, on the back of my mind, understand. Okay, you got a stent, you got a balloon in your heart, so you're never. So I even though you go through the things that you have to go through, you still should do preventive things ahead of time,
Mm-hmm.
because to get to this place and to know that I'm I'm gonna have to worry about this literally to the. And it's not a worry. Let me take that back. But I have to be conscious of what's going on with
Mm-hmm.
my body now. From for it, as long
Yeah.
as I'm here now, and
Yeah.
whereas it was a time I didn't think about those things. I didn't think about, okay, you got to make sure you make the appointment. You got to make sure you're going to get the EKGs of your heart and everything. So then after that, I think about men that may have prostate health,
Yep.
including do are we really checking your prostates? Are you really going and really, because it's the way that you can check your prostates at home. Men can check and
Um.
really check for different
I didn't know that.
lumps, bumps, that can be just same way y'all do a breast exam.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. We
Okay.
can check out, down those areas to make sure that there's no, buildup or no mass that's building up.
Mm.
But I'm gonna tell you one thing that I feel like a lot of men are scared to talk about, and this thing here is so serious because they say when you don't wake up with a vital sexual drive as a man, when your sexual drive is low, and you wake up every morning and you don't realize that you don't have a certain feel with your sexual organ or your body, that's letting you know that your body is not healthy as a man.
Mm.
So I mean, it's so many things when you think about men's health, you know, those things are signs. Like if you cannot, and I'm gonna just go ahead and say it because we're talking to grown people. If you cannot get an erection as a man in the morning period, you need to get your body checked out because you're not getting proper flow of the blood circulating through your body. So a lot of these are things that I'm learning as I go through this journey that I'm on now. That's another reason why I'm not gonna let myself, like, I really, even though we might indulge and we might eat and we might do what we do, I'm still coming home and like, okay, what I'm gonna do to get those calories out of me. What am I gonna do the next day to make sure that, because I'm gonna work out. I'm gonna do some crunches, something to help assist in my living. And that goes back to what you were saying about doing something and making sure you're doing something. But the biggest thing, I think that a lot of men don't understand is I got to continue to go over here, is that mental health is one of the biggest problems that we're dealing with, period, as men. Is a lot of men are going through a lot of depression and don't even know they're going through depression. I was talking to your son earlier today, and we were talking about the fact of having someone, um having a mate, having a wife. Okay, loneliness is a form of depression. Some
Mm.
people don't even understand it's the Bible says it's not good for man to be alone. So I mean that could translate into so many things, but I truly feel like as a man as a man grows, I feel like it translates into a man should have a woman or a wife. That's what I feel like the scripture is referring to. But it could be family, it could be brothers, it could be friends. I don't want to dive that deep into it, but I feel like having a mate is something that a man has to have in order to not have mental health or suicidal thoughts, or it helps you to have a well balanced and a well critical thought process when you have a proper person in your life that assists your thinking, assists you in what you're doing, assists you in your living. So I feel like a lot of things play a part in men's health, period, and the way how we thrive and how we live and how we're successful in what we do. And like I say, I'm gonna start out with that one again. Men shouldn't be alone. That's one of the biggest. I don't understand that. Do you? I mean, come on, piggyback off on that one for.
Well, I'm gonna speak from our situation. So we went into this thing knowing, like I tell people now, we try to outserve each other. And so what that means is if he needs something, I'm gonna get it. If I need something, he's gonna get it, no matter what it is. So I do believe you should. It's nothing like having to help me. Like I say, if I would have lost him back in November, I was like, Lord, what would I have done? Because it's me and him. I know I have the kids, but you got the other aspect of your life where you want a male companion, someone to kiss you, love you, hug you. If you had a bad day, you come home and tell them what's going on. Um, if you even like yesterday, I was like, "Can you zip my dress up? Can you fasten my bracelet?" It's just that those small things um, about having a help meet. I want to go back to the suicide part. It says men account roughly 80% men are I guess commit suicide.
80% of
80%.
men, they
Yeah,
say out
that's
of the suicide rate, 80%
yes.
of it is from men. Is basically what you're
Well,
saying.
no, let me go back. Hold up. Men account roughly eight. Okay, men account roughly 80%. I don't know. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna scratch that sentence because I must didn't complete that sentence correctly. But um, suppressing of the feelings, struggling with depression, anxiety. Oh my goodness, that's a huge one nowadays. Anxiety, um, overwhelming stress, and with all those men, you need to seek therapy, counseling, or even medication, is what it's saying. So today, y'all, I want to say anxiety is running rapid because to me, 24, state 24 is one that can cause major anxiety. You're on the interstate, you're trying to get to work, you're trying to probably, get to the kids, just do different things, and you're caught in traffic day in, day out. That's one aspect. And then men, I tell my husband all the time, thank God I am not a man because I wouldn't want you all's role. You all have such a heavy load on you, meaning you got to take care of your wife, your kids. Most men, you take care of your mom. It's just so many um, things that you all have to be concerned about, and the weight is on you. If it's something go around here, I'm dialing the phone. Anything. I think today at the salon, the alarm was going off. Babe, alarm's going off at the salon. What's going on? Um, Anything. The yard man came and he said da da da. Once again, on you all's shoulder. So you all have to have some kind of outlet. So Teddy, tell me some outlets that you think the men can do to relieve some of this day to day pressure, stress, anxiety that you all have on a day to day basis.
So I'm gonna start out with this, especially because this is transforming my mental, my everything that I do. You have to have a wide community where you can have great communication. You got to have someone you got to be able to talk to. You got to be able to have outlets to be able to talk about what you're dealing with, what you're going through, how to focus, how to um be a go getter, how not to be lazy, how not to, because you got to understand as men, we deal with triggers. I'm gonna be honest with you all. As a man, and this is me talking. I have triggers, and I got to always make sure that I watch that I don't let any of my triggers make me go down a dark path, make me go down a path that could make me want to, do stuff that I don't want to do. So I mean, you we have to start there first. You got to make sure that your self control, that you controlling your anger. You don't let nothing trigger your anger. Don't let
Mm.
nothing trigger your the sexual nature of a man. I mean, it's so many things that we have to deal with. Then on top of that, if if you're a husband, a father, or those things, and I'm talking about true husbands or fathers, you have the weight of understanding. Okay, God, am is this going to be enough? Is this going to be enough money for the household? Is this going to, am I going to be able to provide? And when you got that other weight on you, yeah, that's the I mean, it could feel like you're weighed down. So that's why we can go through anxiety in certain situations, because it is heavy. And then not that's why when I tell you, please, the arguing in the I don't want to argue, but I know I do some stupid stuff sometimes to make it an argument. I get that, but it's a lot, because we really don't think that we can talk about it to other people. But I feel like that's the biggest thing, is being able to communicate and talk as a man to other men first, but having the woman's perspective, it lightens my load, because it lets me understand that, okay, I'm doing it right from a male perspective and a woman's perspective, and to get a positive feedback from a female, it's amazing. It produces good fruit in your mental thoughts, and how you think about yourself as a man. So it's a lot to go in with this whole taking care of Teddy, and the older you get, and the more stripes and the more things you get on your belt, then you really get to that place to where you understand that, hey, take care of the whole mental, take care of yourself, take care of your thoughts, take care of your get healing. Because to hear my father last week talk about how he did not receive any type of affection or anything from his father. They didn't really talk about things. It gave me healing, because it let me understand why certain things that he was not able to give as a father. So I understand now why, everything aligns, how everything happens. Stuff don't happen by happenstance. You're really taught your life. You're taught how to live, or you have to constantly be growing. You have to constantly grow. Yeah.
Okay. So, do me? I know women have some women have like a lot of friends that they can talk to on a daily basis, but I'm not sure. Do men really conversate with other men like us women?
We don't do a lot of conversating with other men, because you don't want to get into emotional conversations with men. That's how we feel, not realizing emotional conversations with men are needed. So a lot of men, don't want to break down and tell another man, because it'll feel like are we weak, or are we talking to the man? But I'm starting to understand, with life and growing, it's it's good. I mean, to talk about sports all day, or something that's just so manly, it's not going to produce great mental processes in your in or help you live the way you need to live. I'm starting to understand that talking about how I feel, what I'm going through, is producing something, and like I say, I'm trying to download into Theo. Don't bother in your thoughts. Don't be constipated in your thinking. Always release how you feel as a man, because when you are able to release and be your true self as a man, you're able to be the best version of you. I feel like I'm becoming a great version of Ted. I really do feel like that, and I say that with total humility. I don't say that to be prideful about how I say this, but I'm coming into understanding truly who I am because of the stripes that I've had, the stuff that I've been through. Um, God has lead me to give a, my next message is gonna be, nothing that you go through is a mistake.
Mm-hmm.
It's not. Everything that I went through, everything that I'm going through, every trial, every situation that you go through, it's not a mistake. I look back over all that happened just in the last 6 months have been crazy. Since November, it's been like almost unbelievable what the last 6 months of our life have taken us through. We've been from being in the hospital, to vacationing, to breaking down and seeing our daughter graduate, to, I mean, it's been a lot that's went on in 6 months. So if that little span of life happened in 6 months, I can only, I want to see what God is going to do next. What's gonna happen the next, you know
I'm with you on
15,
that.
20 years of my life. That's how I'm thinking now. So I'm gonna do everything I need to do for my health. I'm gonna do everything I need to do for my mental health. I'm gonna do everything I need to do to be available and be present in life now. I'm not gonna be present in work no more because I was present in work. I'm gonna be present in life now, and that's gonna produce some good stuff for me. You look
All
like you got
right, all
something you want to
right.
say.
I did find that so 1 in 10 men experience some form of depression or anxiety, um, but less than half seek treatment. Um, and then 30,000 men in the United States die each year from prostate cancer. So you taught me something today because I didn't know that men could check themselves. So just like we're supposed to check our breasts, men are supposed to check their prostate. Um, each year, over 230,000 men will be diagnosed with prostate cancer, and about 30,000 will die of it, unfortunately. You can go to prostatehealthguide.com. This website offers you a guide to the prostate and various conditions that can affect your health. And then, for more information about prostate health, visit the Men's Health Resource Center.com. So they have different avenues. And like I say, you can Google any and everything that you need these days in regards to your health. Um, and then I want to move on to the second leading cause of men, death of men is cancer of the lung. Once again, prostate, colon, and skin among the most common forms of cancer for men. Over 50% of men in their 60s have some type of cancer, and then 90% in their 70s have symptoms of enlarged prostates. And so I'm just hoping men will take the time to get their prostates checked, um, because it can be prevented, especially if you catch it early. I know my dad had prostate cancer, and he ended up catching it early, and he's doing fabulous. Another part of men's health is this type 2 diabetes. It's a
Mm.
growing epidemic, especially if it's left unmanaged. So, I know you are a type 2 diabetic. Unfortunately, it's been going on for, over 20 some years that you've been battling with this diabetes, and each and every day is still a struggle. Because, like today, his alarm went off. He was down to 45, and I was at work. I was like, "Excuse me, I got to make a phone call." And so we had to put some measures in place to get that sugar brought up. So this thing with health is nothing to play with, guys. Men and women, basically. We got to take better care of ourselves each and every day. And how do we do that? Like my husband said, eating healthier, going to the doctor, um, making sure that we, drink plenty of water, exercise. And then for anxiety, and I was talking to my boss today, she was like, she might call us in a yoga instructor just to take some of the daily day-to-day stress out, because everybody know Mondays are kind of stressful. You're coming off the weekend. You're busy at work on Mondays because you've been off the last Saturday and Sunday, so it just a lot go in on a day-to-day basis. So you do need to eat healthy so your brain can function, so you can make the proper decisions. And then you don't want to be tired from just eating, because like when I eat pasta, different things at lunch, I'm tired, I'm sluggish, I get an attitude. So I'm trying my best to go a different route. And so for you men, I'm just praying and hoping that we're saying something to you today that might encourage you to say, well, hey, let me go get checked out, let me just, because it doesn't hurt. And I know another thing you were saying, something about men might not go because of lack of health insurance. um, Not sure what to tell you about that. I know that's unfortunate. To me, we live in a world where everyone should have insurance, um, where you can go to the doctor and see what's ailing you. But if you don't have it, understand, because it costs a lot to go to these different appointments. But I hope that you all will take the time to put your health first. And if some reason you can't go to the doctor, like I say, Google, find your holistic remedies, some herbs. It's all types of different medicines out there that you can take. Now I'm gonna say medicine, herbs that you can take to help. With different things that goes on in your body. But we really want to take the time today to say, hey, get yourselves checked, man. Exercise, do what you got to do. We want you here. We already have a shortage of men, unfortunately. So the
Yep,
ones
yep.
that's here, we want you to take care of yourself, because we wouldn't be here without you all.
I'm loving the fact that you getting a lot of this data, and y'all we're talking to you all about this today because y'all, this it's amazing, y'all. We're about to come up on our year anniversary of being
Yes,
on this
we
show,
are.
and y'all, we've talked to a lot of people. We talked about a lot of things, and health was one of our biggest issues, you all. We never knew that our my life would take the turn that it took.
Hmm.
Okay, we know
Yeah.
we y'all. This is no. I say this so many times. We do not. I pray that you don't have to witness going through the trial before it makes you awaken and get you
Yes.
into a place to where you have to take care of yourself better. You must, because even in that situation, I was doing. I felt like I what I was supposed to be
You really
doing.
were.
I was really working out. I was eating right. I was drinking the water. I was fasting. Things that I thought was right for it to take a turn like it did. But like I say, it could be hereditary, things that going on with our body. And that's another situation I will want to bring out. Your bloodline and what you went through could be the reason why you have the heart disease, the diabetes in certain situations. So that's another reason why I feel like we men have to go have regular checkups, do what we're supposed to do, and just have a vibe of living right now, y'all. Because I'm telling y'all, I want at least I want to make it past 70, y'all. I want it bad. I think about this weekend and our children's life to know now that the next one is about to go to college. We seen Theo graduate.
Hmm.
I want to see what Trent is gonna do. I want to be here to see that. I want to see some grandchildren. I don't know if it's men. Do you strive to want to see these things in life? Because fi- material stuff, God, I'm good. God is giving me those things. I'm thinking about the eternal things like grandchildren. Um, having like our events that we had. I that our last podcast, live podcast, I still vibe off of those type of things. Those are the things that I want to see in life and do. So that's why I'm gonna make sure that I'm taking care of this thing so I can live to see those things and do those things. So I'm gonna live for that eternal. We talked about that a couple of weeks ago about living for eternal things.
Oh yes.
That'll help you. That'll help you in your health as a man. You know what I'm saying? So
And then we missed the big part of it. You gotta spend time with God each and every single day. That's very important, men. Like I say, you all are head of the household. We depend on your leadership from day to day. And so you got to get your instructions from God, and then it trickles down. So once again, we need you all to be here. Go get checked. Um, exercise if you can't, even if it's small. Like Teddy at night, he might be in the bed, but like I'm tired, I ain't doing it. He gets on the floor, he do his sit ups, um, anything he can do, he does something. Every little bit helps. Now I ain't gonna, I have my little Fitbit on. I know he makes fun of it, but I get my steps in. Right now I'm at 10,753. So we try to do something, but do something. Just don't sit around lackadaisy. Um, and then for your mental, try to read a book. All that watching TV, I don't believe that's healthy. Pick up a book, read. Um, crossword puzzles. It's so many different things that you can do to enhance your mind. And like I say, we got to keep this body moving and working. You don't want your limbs and different things to get stiff. You don't want, arthritis. It's just so many things. But today we just really want to touch on the men's health, how important it is for you all to get out and get to the doctor, get seen about. It's nothing like heading it off before it gets too far. I would hate to, you get something, then it's too late. you know, Hit it off beforehand. It just brings to mind my dad. He has, I think it's 90% blockage on one side of his neck, and then the other side, um, I think it's like maybe 50%. I don't know the real numbers, and I forgot, but he's walking around with blockage. And I'm like, if you would have just went earlier, you could have prevented, because he ended up having an accident. That's how he found out. Um, but you gotta go get seen about. Got to go, got to go. Take your son, because if you don't do it, then it's gonna trickle down to your son and then to your grandkids. So take time to take care of yourself, men. There's no excuse. Like I said, we need you all around here on a daily basis. We need that leadership, that guidance from you all. You have anything, Theodore?
Yeah, I'm over here just vibing off of your conversation on the day. It's a couple of things I want to say before we jump off this air tonight, because it goes deeper than a lot of what we're saying, because it's a lot of things that I'm realizing as men that we really have to open up our mindset to understand. First of all, we have to be selfless, y'all. That's where it's gonna have to start at. We have to get out of our selfish ways and be selfless and have unconditional concern for others, because you have to understand it takes people to make the world go round, and we have to be better communicators. We got to have concern for others and be selfless as men. And then after that, y'all, you have to have a deep, abiding sense of happiness. You got to have joy, y'all. You really have to be excited for wanting to live and wanting to be here on this earth, because the joy of life, the joy of knowing that, I was complaining last week about, you know, having to get up and go to work, but you got to
Mm-hmm.
have a joy in knowing that he's producing and having something else for you to do. And then that'll give you an inner calmness in yourself. When you have a joy, you have a contentment. When you're trusting the process that, what God is doing for you, you'll have the ability to endure and go through those things. So um, it's so many things. You got to be, have a good attitude towards people. It's a lot to go into this thing outside of, going to get the check up from the doctor, because getting the check and all that's good, but you got to start with the inner self first. And I think that's a place to where I feel like a lot of men don't understand. That self control thing is everything that you see. That you got to have self control to get up and make sure you meet your doctor's appointments. You get up and eat right. You get up and, like I say, live it or not, you're gonna witness the bad and the good. If you
Mm-hmm.
if you if you do it the right way, you pray for the good.
Right.
If you do it the wrong way, what you got to deal with the bad. So it's not, it's not magical. It's not.
No, it's not. Uh,
It's not magical, and you got to understand the relationship that you have with God. And this is something that I'm realizing: the relationship that you have with God as a man. When you have a relationship with Him, like I know I got to wake up and spend time with Him. I know I got to go to church to worship Him. I know I got to give to Him. I know that it's not a thing of to where I'm gonna second guess that. I have a true relationship. I'm locked in with God like that. I know who He is. I know He's gonna provide. I know He's gonna take care of me. It's not again. I'm never gonna be in a situation to where I don't know that I'm good. That's the type of relationship that I have now, and it's building and it's getting stronger and stronger because He's still showing me, time after time after time again. When you're looking up, and you're seeing nothing but lights, and you're laying, and you have no control of what someone is doing over your body.
mm-hmm.
When you're doing that, your perspective changes. It is not the same. I know it's a lot of people out there that's listening that may have had a surgery, or going through some things, but life changes when you go through those things. So yes, I'm gonna, it's an inner thing first. That's what's gonna help men's health, is the inner self, the that angel on the side and on the inside, or who you gonna let control you, the good or the bad.
That's a good question. The good or the bad. But I do like what you said. I want to piggyback really quick. It is a mind thing. You have to take control. But first of all, you got to ask the Lord to give you the strength. That's why I've been asking, give me the strength, because I want to feel good. I want to not hurt. I don't want the information and different things in my body. And so I have to say, hey, help me to say no to those cravings, the desires of my flesh want, the ice cream, the cookies, the candy bars, the French fries, the potato chips, all the things that I love. But help me, because my body is not like it used to be. And so, men, once again, we just want you to take better care of yourself. Um, to 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 go to your appointments, to eat healthy. And if you need something, ask. Don't have to. I know men are very prideful. Ask. Say, hey man, what doctor do you go to? Do you have any recommendations? I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Maybe I'm not that dude. I am so transparent and so open, and I'm not gonna, and I say this to all men: being private and by yourself, or being in a position in your mind to where you want to be isolated from people. I'm that is not That's not good for your mindset. That's not good for your life. So, like I said, going forth, all I want to do is create community, create conversation. That I, Blessed. That's how I'm gonna leave it at that. Blessed with what I do, and you all have been listening to. I mean, what's your conclusion on
I mean,
tonight,
that's
darling?
it. Just, men, take care of yourselves, because we need you around. Um, the word says, seek first the kingdom, and all everything else be added to you. So, hey, get up in the morning, give God His praise, and then from then on, ask Him what must you do. But then keep in mind that your health is wealth.
Absolutely, absolutely, y'all. Good, good, good. Always great, you all. Like I say, you all, this we have been blessed, you all. To now, we're going on a year of actually having this platform, and we thank you all once again for listening to us. This has been a great, great time with you today, Monica. We have a special guest that's coming next week. But it's always good to break down and put out these type of shows and conversations. So this was good that you chose this, but y'all be blessed tonight, and
Yes.
men, please, please try your best. Try your best to want to be at the the best state of mind, the best health, the best mindset. Um, don't live this life the wrong way. I guess that's a good way for me to say it. Don't live this life the wrong way. I'm gonna have to get a T-shirt.
Mm-hmm.
Don't live this life the wrong way. And I pray that you don't. So you all be blessed out there. You've been listening to WFTBF 104.1 FM Tab Nashville Gospel Radio, the Teddy and Monica Show, also Sacrificial Conversations, you all. We are just, like I said, blessed to have you all listening in. We love you all, and tune in next week because I'm starting to realize God is pleased with what we're doing, and we thank Him for just giving us this. So y'all have a blessed night, have a safe time the rest of this week, and we'll be praying for you all. Y'all be blessed. I told y'all it was going to be a good conversation, sacrificial conversations. Did you subscribe yet? Hit that like button. You might get something that's going to help your life. Y'all be blessed.